recorded at tonight in the executive session. We're now ready to record the public portion of our meeting. We had some correspondence this week from Chris and Caitlin Turan with a number of questions.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry?
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me. I cannot ask you to read any of my private emails.
No, we're not reading any private emails. I'm just saying the correspondence arrived. That's all. And we're
I've
reading
never
our
heard
correspondence.
anything like that
Mr.
before.
Turan, there is a period of time for public comment.
You've mentioned my name and my wife's name in public without our knowledge with private emails to this board, ma'am.
You address them to the entire board.
In private. If you want, no problem. If that's what you want to do, I will bring in all my emails to the board and read them. You're making a mistake here and out of line, ma'am. No problem. Next 2 minutes, I will run home and I'll get all my emails that I sent to you about my family and how you let them down, and I will read them aloud if you're going to read about my family without my permission.
About your family. All right. We will go ahead now with the superintendent's report and the president's report.
What, Athena? What's with the looks, Athena?
Okay, stop.
And the left.
We're
Excuse me,
conducting
Mr.
the meeting.
DeLue.
Conduct the meeting. Excuse
are
me,
not
have you removed
Mr.
the motion to
Turan.
adjourn, Betsy?
Yes. Could you give me a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Second. Second. We will adjourn for 5 minutes.
Not going to talk about my...
Quick slide presentation tonight. First of all, I should have done this at the last Board of Ed meeting. We did recognize 2 teachers, 2 staff members at our all-staff orientation in late August. We have a Tradition of Excellence Award. They are nominated by their colleagues, and then the nominations are evaluated, and 2 winners are chosen. Certificated staff is Jody Hackmeyer. She is an English teacher here at the high school. And Rose Cancer-Larry is our support staff, and she is a member of the London Avenue staff. So it's always nice to be recognized by your peers as outstanding members of our district. The state of New Jersey received some positive news at the start of the school year. In Education Week, they were ranked as the #1 public school system in the state of New Jersey. #1 public school system in the nation. This ranking system has been going on for 23 years. Massachusetts, which is in 2nd place, has been at the top for the last 4 or 5 years, and we've barely edged them out by 100th of a point. So it just really shows a little bit of the commitment that the state has in our public schools. We all have, there's issues that still need to be addressed, but we're all working towards a better system and really addressing education at all levels across the state, so that's something that them to really put their hat on. Every year at the beginning of the year, I do report out on class sizes that are 25 or more. In Forest Avenue, the pre-kindergarten classes are at 25 each. In Linden Avenue, the 3 second grade classes are at 25 students each. Some of the students might leave for resource room. Our 1st grade in both schools are extremely low numbers for us. So we're going to be the 1st grade A will be working in each building to help with these classes that are a little bit larger in the room. Ridgewood Avenue has a few classes over 25. The 6th grade class is a class that has been large when they came into 3rd grade, and we had 7 sections at one point, 4th and 5th, but the way it's departmentalized in 6, they're back down to 6 sections. So you're seeing some large classes there. Typically, those large classes, we're having class support in there because the students might have some special ed needs, but those in-class supports will also help regular ed students as needed. The middle school has 8 classes that are at 25 or higher. Typically, the reason why you have it in the middle school schedule is really driven by the world language programs. If we have low numbers or an odd number in the sense of we're at 30 students, let's say we want to take French, and we have to offer 2 sections at 30. So those numbers are loading low in that French class, which means all the other academics offered at that time high school has 19 classes. Again, there's a little bit of the complexity of scheduling high school, where you have students take a wide variety of classes, mixed grade levels in there, mixed levels. Most of the classes are around 25 to 26, so one class that does stand out is at 29. Typically, we would make 2 sections of that class, but with science teachers, we don't have enough science teachers to create an extra section. So rather than deny students, the teacher has agreed to take those extra students in his class. One of the resolutions today is rezoning our elementary schools now that Central is up and operating. The 3 zones that we are looking right now, the zone to the left, which would be Linden Avenue zone, you would go from Appleton on the Bloomfield side, crossing over to Ridgewood Avenue and going up Lincoln would be all zoned for Linden Avenue. To the right of that, into Baldwin, would be the Central School, and to the right side of Baldwin, to the end of town, would be Forest Avenue School. We've always operated what I'll call a soft border policy. If we have numbers that are, let's say, extremely high, 1 grade level at Forest, and Linden Avenue's numbers are lower, we're offering parents to go over to Linden Avenue just to balance out those classes a little bit. Open up Central, one of the promises I made are we have parents and families who are entrenched in one school system, who might be falling in the new Central zone, we'll allow them to continue to go through that school system that they're used to and have a relationship with already. So we're going to be monitoring this very closely as we're starting to populate Central over the next couple of years. Some of the numbers that I did look at is just trying to get an idea of the number of residents and what does that turn into when we start looking at student populations. So currently, you get an idea of how many residents there are on the Linden side and the Forest Avenue side. There, although there's roughly 120 residents different, their actual population has been very similar the last couple of years. And the proposed residences at Linden will be 884 at Linden, 728 at Central. And Forest is 819, but that does include the new Baldwin property that will be opening up in the next couple of years. We run about 18 to 23% the number of residents. You take that and multiply those numbers, that's what your population are in those schools. In some years we're a little bit on the lower side, like we are with our first grade. Some years we are a little bit on the higher side, and we'll run closer to 23%. So you get an idea of where our projected school population is going to be. We expect Linden to have still, it's the largest building, we're expected to have the largest population as we move forward. We're probably looking at 3 sections at a grade level, where Central and Forest will be looking at 2 sections per grade level. And those enrollment numbers will determine where we're at with each section, but it also gives us at Linden and Forest, frees up some space if we need to add sections where we have that capability to do so. In the past, we haven't been able to do that. We haven't had 3 classroom space. It will also allow us to take some services that are offered in smaller spaces and move them into larger classrooms or services that are in shared spaces that have their own classroom instructional space. Just a quick construction update. Ridgewood, Linden, and Forest are still moving forward with getting the HVAC project done, really to gear up towards the winter months, making sure that the piping is completed, insulation, the electric, and they continue to work on that. They are working during the second shift at all 3 buildings, so we're progressing nicely with that. Central, if you haven't driven by Central lately, there is new playground equipment up. We're excited about that. We do need to put in the new surface and the fencing and some landscaping that will go around that area. I'm waiting to hear from the surface company to find out when they can actually come and lay down the new surface. Exterior doors are supposed to be installed this week. The fence is supposed to be up this week. And the first floor, which is a High Street level, is supposed to be completed this week. And we'll hopefully get our CO for the first floor. And the following week, the second floor where the library is at should be complete. At our next board meeting, we are having a presentation by the Society of Prevention of Teenage Suicide. They are the one who has brought us the Lifeline program that we've been integrating in our curriculum at Ridgewood Avenue in the high school. So they're going to talk about that program that we brought in. On October 1st, they are presenting. They're doing a parent presentation that we've done here at the high school in the LGI, raising resilient teens and challenging times. So I encourage you, if you have a student who's fifth grader up, please take the time to that presentation.
Board members, do you have any questions or comments on the presentation?
Just curious, so band, which is one of those class sizes that's larger than 25, that's that band is.
Band's at 29, 27.
Band class.
Band is the class, which is offered for students in grades 9 through 12. So typically, which is actually kind of low. You really want the entire band together. In years past, our numbers were over 60 in that class. At one point, we actually had to make 2 band sections because of classes, because of sizes that but as our numbers have come back down, the request of Dr. Gage, who's our music teacher, he wanted the entire band practicing.
And then, my comment would be, I'm hearing a lot, I don't know about the rest of the board members, about stress and anxiety and among students and for people that are on boards around the state and elsewhere. Is your district focused on it? And it's great to see that we've got 2 events coming up in the not distant future that was student mental health. So with all the other stuff you've got going on, I think it's great that we're focused on it.
Any other questions on this one before we go to public comment? Okay, it's now time for the first public comment period for comments or questions on agenda items only. Please do as these members of the audience have done. Come to your podium, state your name and residence, and then you have 2 minutes. Mrs. Sal, I see you first.
From Sawa Glen Ridge. I want to follow up with the construction update, including some comments on the construction update from the last meeting where Mr. Romano said that people were asking about could you clean ductwork and other things that's going to have hot or cold air blowing through it. And you said, well, schools have different heating and cooling systems in your house, which would make sense. But explain how the hot and cold air gets into the rooms and why that would not be affected by particulate that might have gotten into them.
Sure. The schools conventionally use what we refer to as unit ventilators.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at the schools under each and every classroom. There's a little grill,
Yes.
right? And so the air, the outside air is admitted through the unit itself. It goes over either warm or cool or temperately air. Makes a mix of the outside air required for the occupancy and for the temperature you're trying to satisfy in space. While we do have some very limited claims about in our construction, essentially administrative areas, spaces other than classrooms, typically, the vast majority of the spaces, even utilizing these classes, that don't benefit them.
Okay. I have heard that there is ductwork in the schools, and therefore I found your response to be misleading. Thank you for the clarification. Finally, on your suicide comment or your presentations, I urge you all to get the Mallory Grossman presentations, Mallory's Army. That is the child who committed suicide allegedly because the school district repeatedly ignored the complaints about bullying. And in fact, she committed suicide right after a meeting with the principal. So that, I've been to 4 of those presentations. They're excellent, and they really reflect what happens when the school board ignores a child's and a parent's complaints.
Thank you. Next.
I'm sorry, could you give me the name of that one again? I'm sorry, Mallory.
Mallory
Grossman. Mallory's, her name is Mallory Grossman, and the organization is called Mallory's Army, and they are right over in Rockland there. Rockaway.
Okay, please go ahead.
Hi, I am Ruth Manna, High Street, Glen Ridge. Following that, on a much lesser comment or question for clarification about the playground for Central, thank you for the follow-up, thank you for the information. The only thing, and I may have missed it, but I'm here to clarify, is asking an update about the fencing, a barrier, and landscaping for protection from the road and for privacy. I lost it in the last couple of updates, and even tonight, or if I did miss it, I apologize, but just a repeat on that. What the plan is, because I know.
The plan is basically what you said, those 3 items. There'll be iron fence around the entire playground. There's landscaping going up as part of our construction plans, and we're looking to put the concrete bollards up.
What's the word you're saying?
Bollards. You typically see them in front of banks and so forth, so people can't drive up to the building, hit the
Oh,
building
right.
or something.
Okay,
So
thanks.
those items would go in to protect the side of the playground, and I'm looking to do, the fence will be on the High Street, and then we'll be doing some planting trees also.
Is that, am I allowed to ask one more question? Is that following the rubber cement? Is that all happening in the next 2-3 weeks-ish when we're hoping before the kids play on it? Just rough timeline. I know we don't have exact.
Well, the fencing will happen before the students play on it. It's just working with the contractor to make sure those items get done. So, I'm going to rely on what, and we've had a lot of communication with the central parent where I'm passing on information on the contractor, and it hasn't always been
Right.
the most accurate.
Right.
So those are planned. The fence will go in, and then the trees and the bollards will go in following the fence.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Hi, Sarah Scott, Glenridge. My comment was on the Linden construction. Just today, when I was picking up my second grader, the fencing for the construction is right outside the second grade door, and a construction worker, I guess, was inside the fence area, had been there for a couple minutes, and then walked to the second grade door and just opened it without using a key, and it wasn't locked at all. And just as a second grade parent, seeing that happen, a man who I didn't know being able to just enter the school was concerning. And so I just wanted to bring that to your attention, because I don't know what rules they have in place or if they're following them.
There are several rules that they have in place. One, they must check in into the building, especially if it's during the school hours. They're getting visitors, going through the visitor management system. They're supposed to have an ID tag on.
Yeah, I didn't see a tag, but I wasn't paying attention. I just saw,
Was it during school hours or after?
it was at like 2:58. I was waiting for the second graders to come out, and he came in, and he didn't go to the side with the key card. He was just able to pull it open.
They don't have a key card access, so
But yeah, but it wasn't, there was no one letting him in. He just kind of, so I guess.
I'll
All
follow up
right.
with the construction manager, the supervisor, and we'll figure it out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Trump.
Harris Turan, I live in the district. This is about topics on the agenda, is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips, would you mind going back a couple of your slides to the Forest Avenue with the Avenue School one? You suggested in your comments that the 25-25 might change due to children moving into either special ed or resource room. But I'm curious that we cut $100,000 from our special education budget this year, and we've cut a lot of teachers. So if you're moving them into the resource room and we've really cut down our special education fund and teachers, how are you going to educate those students? I have 2 other questions in regards to that, but I'll pause.
Our special education budget did not get cut this year. That being said, when we're looking at students, some students are in the homeroom, but for certain classes, they leave the homeroom and get small group instructions that may be happening in a couple of these classes. Typically, students who get services will get them for language arts and mathematics, which are your two longest periods in a school day.
And you're saying the special education budget was not decreased? Because on the budget report, it shows a decrease from last year of $100,000.
I'm not sure where you're seeing that, if you could be more specific.
If you go into the Board of Ed webpage, and then you look under your second tab, I believe it was Easy Way Budget View. User-friendly budget view, and then you go down within your budget and you look under instruction for special education. Looks like it's $100,000 less than last year, or the special education services are $100,000 less than last year. And it's my understanding from previous meetings that we didn't rehire a lot of teachers. Certain teachers, we let them go for budget reasons. Which gets me on to this other question: with the class sizes so large, why are we cutting teachers? And why don't we have another science teacher to get these class sizes down to more manageable levels?
Very simply, our revenues consist of property tax revenue, which pays for over 90% of the cost of educating our kids, and a certain amount of state aid. We have a budget to make every year. We cannot go into deficit spending. So we consider all the categories. We make the best budget we possibly can to address the needs of every student in the district. And we do what we can to make that budget. Even though we are perceived as an affluent town, and people in the town do very well, because we have a lack of commercial ratables, we are not a rich town in terms of, by comparison with, say, Montclair, Bloomfield, who have more commercial ratables.
We have 5 tax rate schools, I think, or 6 in our town. It is very low. I agree with that. But I saw some shifting of monies in the budget to non-educational stuff. And I am curious. I feel that all our teachers, our learning consultants, our special education teachers are doing double or triple duty and are just losing things through the cracks because they're stretched thin. They tell me this. I have it in meetings. I don't think that we're using all our money effectively at our best usage. And just as one last thing on this, I'd like to understand the 6th period. I understand. I'd like to understand. There are other people who didn't.
You will have an opportunity at the end of the meeting in the second public comment. Thank you. Is there anyone else with public comments? Okay, we will continue with the rest of our agenda. It is not the first meeting of the month, so, but if anyone has a liaison report that is time sensitive. And Tracy, did you want to talk about the special ed reception?
Yes, next week, I think it's October 2nd, Grace Week, which is with the Urban House, where a number of the staff members will be there, as well as parents from the Grace organization and as well. It's House Meet and Greet, and it's a 7:30 reception.
Anyone else have time sensitive item? Ellen?
Just wanted to make sure to do a quick second to thank all of my colleagues who came out for the coffee conversations. It's a lot of extra hours tacked onto your already busy schedules. Thank you for bringing coffee. Thank you for bringing police and personalities. And I think it's wonderful events to have, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes,
Thank you
thank
for herding
you
the cats.
for putting that schedule together. I know it wasn't easy. Okay, let's go on to the administrative items. We have some policies, first readings of new policies, including the revised organizational chart and the zoning that we saw Mr. Phillips unveil a few minutes ago. David, may I have a motion to approve the administrative items?
I will make 182.
Okay, may I have a second?
Second.
Second from Michael. personnel items, please.
Yes, I move P1 through P12, which would include some items in addition on P7, which we found on P12.
Okay, and second. Second from Ally. In keeping with our policy, any questions or comments, any discussion of policy items is done in exec session. So Barbara, when you're ready.
Mr. Bonnet?
Aye.
Ms. Boyle-Luigi? Aye. Mr. Campbell?
Aye.
Mr. DeLuca?
Aye.
Ms. Lang? Aye. Mr. Romano? Ms. St. Aubert?
Aye.
Mr. Ginsburg?
Aye. Going on to curriculum items. Michael, would you move the curriculum item?
Yes, I will move C1, including, there's something, including the additional field trips on the schedule.
Okay, and have a second.
Second.
Second from Anthony. Sorry. Any discussion on these curriculum items? Okay, Michael, are you ready?
Mr. Bonnet?
Aye.
Ms. Boyle-Luigi? Mr. Campbell?
Aye.
Mr. DeLuca?
Aye.
Ms. Lang? Aye. Mr. Romano?
Aye.
Ms. St. Aubert?
Aye.
Ms. Ginsburg?
Aye. Before we move the business items, I want to draw your attention to B6 on your agenda, a donation from the Glenridge Educational Foundation to sponsor the robotics team for some $2,500. This is not the first time they have done that sponsorship, but we are extremely grateful. The robotics team, if you've never seen them in action, are amazing. They not only have great robots, but they can explain to you how those great robots work. It's a wonderful program. So thank you to Mrs. Long and the Educational Foundation. We would remind you on her behalf that the Thanksgiving Day Ashton Felter race is coming up. So for those of you who are runners, that is a great opportunity. For those of you who really want to just support the runners, that's a great opportunity as well. All right, we have now come to the second public comment period for comments or questions on it. Mrs. Sutton, I'm sorry. May I have a motion to call would you?
Yeah, I'd like to move items P1 through P7, including the additions made to P5 on the agenda.
Okay, may I have a second?
Second.
Second from Michael. Any further questions or comments on the business items? Okay, that being the case, Barbara.
Mr. Bonnet?
Aye.
Ms. Boyle-Luigi? Aye. Mr. Campbell?
Aye.
Mr. DeLuca?
Aye.
Ms. Lang? Aye. Mr. Romano?
Aye.
Ms. St. Aubert? Aye. Ms. Ginsburg?
Hi. All right, now we've come to the second public comment period for questions or comments on agenda or other items. Same rules apply. Please step up to the microphone and
Anybody else? I'm still Harris Turan, living in this district for 17 years before I had children. I'm going to ask all my questions right at the beginning because of this 2-minute thing over here. So I'd like to know what type of accounting software we use in this town for the school district, Ms. Murphy. I'd like to know Mr. DeLue's thoughts on how teacher contract negotiations are going. And I'd also like to know about the P7 6th period assignment. Someone can explain to me what all that is. Please stop my clock.
okay. Wait, let's
It's
see.
still going, Mr. Campbell.
First is the software.
It's called Computer Solutions.
That's an accounting software?
Yes, it does our accounting and our payroll.
Do you want to talk about security assignments?
Do you use any type of paper ledger in town, a green old accounting ledger for any of your books?
No.
Teachers by contract are, the teaching assignment is 5 classes. If the need be, that we have classes that need to be covered, and they're taking on 6th assignment, they are paid an extra stipend, and it's $6,179 to teach at 6th assignment, and they're also then relieved from duty, such as working study hall, or all duty, or cafeteria. So 6th assignment is for taking on an extra course.
Because we don't have enough teachers to take on extra courses, so we're subbing in these teachers outside of their contract. Is this a fair wage based on their contract?
This is a way that has been agreed upon and negotiated through the union.
Do you feel that this saves us much more money than hiring teachers to have extra sections?
Yes, it would save us money because we're paying teachers to teach classes that already have benefits, so we wouldn't have to hire a teacher and then provide them benefits on top of that, which would be an extra cost.
So it's more cost saving.
It's costing.
It's cost savings. And do they have enough prep time with to work through all their classes if they're teaching 6 periods?
The prep time is part of the contracted agreement, so the bargaining unit, which is the teachers' union, works on those things whenever we negotiate, which we're currently in negotiation. So there are provisions in the master agreement, which is the contract with the teachers' union, that cover both 6-period assignments and prep time, separate clauses.
So if they're doing a 6 period, and it looks like almost all the teachers, but if they're doing that 6 period, are they not getting the prep time? Are they losing prep time?
They're not losing.
They're not losing prep time and they don't have to do it on their own time?
They're losing a duty. Teachers assign 5 classes, 2 preps, and a duty. So when they take on a 6-period class, they lose the duty.
Okay, and Michael, would you speak
I
on?
mean, all I can say, we don't discuss the details of ongoing negotiations. We are still negotiating with the teachers even right now. We're hopeful we'll get to the solution, to the conclusion we're all concerned.
And how do you feel it's going with the negotiation?
I think there's a lot of positive stuff in the negotiation.
And you feel you're getting to a resolution?
So just that.
In my remaining time, I also want to note for the record that I don't know if it was on the record or off the record, but this is the second time that a Board of Education member has either threatened me or now has told me that I should take medication. And he does it off the record while he's walking away with snide remarks. It's inappropriate and it's just not right. And your obstructionist ways of stifling people to come back and talk to you about issues in the school is just sometimes we feel that you don't want to answer the tough questions. And if we look at other districts that use this 2-minute man clock over here, then we will see that other districts allow 2 minutes and then you can go back to the end of the blind and get another 2 minutes. And some districts are 3 minutes. So it's not just in other districts that we're comparing to Cedar Grove and other districts, 2 minutes and then you can't speak anymore. They try and give 2 minutes and then you can go back to the line and go for another 2 minutes if you're moving along the lines of what other districts do. And I really am shocked that someone from the Board of Education threatens parents who are coming and tells them they should be on medication at a Board of Education meeting when they don't want their personal emails read aloud to the town.
Thank you. Mrs. Sullivan?
Gretasawa, Glenridge. Mrs. Ginsburg, you and the Board of Education, will you change your rule to let people go back to the end of the line and ask further questions after they've had their first 2-minute period and after everyone's spoken?
That is something that the board may discuss at a later date. We're not going to discuss it here tonight.
I will ask you every time. All right. The Mr. Campbell problem, Mr. Turan was polite. Mr. Campbell has chased me down the stairwell and screamed out the front door of the school 2 years ago at me, out of control of himself. I have heard him invite Mr. Turan outside to the corridor to talk about something outside, which implied physical violence. I heard him tonight tell Harris that he should take his medications. I have seen you slam the gavel down repeatedly on Mr. Turan, yet Mr. Campbell is making all sorts of vile comments. You never slam your gavel down. This is incredibly poor management and running of a meeting, and that's why these hostilities build up. And your attitude and your refusal to have constructive conversation with people, and you're allowing David Campbell to treat people this way, it goes against your own rules and your own policy. All right. Okay. Let's stop that. Also, I'd like to note that I found board counsel laughing at Mr. Turan when he objected to his personal emails being read entirely unprofessional. And I don't know why he continued to contract with her other than her law firm has paid you for years, although they have since stopped. Last but not least, tell me about your ventilators and the ductwork that is there.
That's it.
We're out of time, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad the police are here because that's the only time Mr. Campbell behaves himself.
I'm sorry.
May I have another moment? One moment? Or are you going to deny
Mr.
me?
You are out of time.
Actually, I actually didn't use all my time.
Mr. Toronto, you are out of time. Did you want to say anything further about ductwork?
No, I think I explained the fuller answer. I'd be happy to direct to a reference.
That doesn't answer the question. The stuff that is there,
Mrs.
what
Sala,
did you
you're
do
out
to
of time
protect it?
also. Thank you. Does anyone have anything further for board decision? Okay, seeing none, I have a motion to adjourn. We'll give it to Teresa